Welcome back, everyone. Today I bring you my first game of the Season 3 WARNO League. And my first match is against Jokertard. As you can see, we are on Urban Frontlines. And I picked 4E Divisie, the Dutch tank division. Joker picked 82nd Airborne, which was a very weird choice to make. I understand, you know, Urban Frontlines, infantry divisions, and stuff like that. I first picked, so he counterpicked 82nd, and I still didn't get it because his stuff is just so expensive. I thought about picking 16th Belgium, but then I thought that I would prefer the Leopard 2s. Your infantry is worse though, so I think maybe 16th would have been a better choice because your line infantry in 16th just gets 3 machine guns, and in 4th Dutch it gets only 1. The size is the same, but yeah, well, I went with the Dutch because you get a lot of infantry. With the price bust they had in the last patch, they are actually very good now. You get a shit ton of AIFVs, and I think in Urban Frontlines, honestly, the AIFVs are a lot better than a lot of the other IFVs, because if you look here, like, you're never really using your ATGMs. So if you have an IFV that doesn't have to pay for an ATGM, you basically get the fire support without the ATGM tax on top. If you want to go for the flanks, then that's different, but even on the flanks you don't have a lot of very open ground where you're going to be fighting over. Actually here, but you rarely fight here. If anything, you're going to fight for this and for this, maybe, but that's about it. And yeah, so I thought it was very weird. I also adjusted my deck a bit. I took out the cluster bombers because I don't need cluster bombers against 82nd, and replaced it with another card of cheetahs and upvetted them, because it would be very helpful against his helicopters, but also against his airplanes. Because, I mean, upvetted cheetahs, you have 35% accuracy. That's very, very nice. Also super low aim time, more fire rate, so insane. You can see I started with a bunch of KCTs, so the GSR school recon squads, 4 men. Not gonna be good in infantry fighting, but they're 4 Uzis, and the law is like fine, but you really just bring them for the recon. So I wasn't trying to contest this forward deployed. You can see I'm deploying like 2 50 cals into those buildings, and just KCT in here, KCT in here, KCT in here. Very defensive. 1 KCT on the right side, also very defensively, because this is basically the only squad that's gonna be going there in the early game. Because otherwise I'm doing a heavy push down here to kind of go around this city fighting that's gonna be happening here. And then if I take this sector of the map, I can push into this zone or threaten this zone, so I'm pretty open to what I want to do. I wanted to keep Foxtrot, so I also deployed Genie here. I thought that in here it should have a decent engagement against units in these buildings, and if you get something in here, then, well, that's gonna be rough, because the Genie only gets Uzis. But I thought it was fairly unlikely that he would fight, but I did deploy a lot of units in here. Mostly I thought that he would focus on the buildings in the center, the high-rises specifically, and then maybe later reroute a bunch of squads here, and then I can still obviously pull out the Genie out of this building if he doesn't deploy like specifically in this building there. Then I deployed one of the YPR with the ground radar trait. It's not a trait, but exceptional recon, because it has a radar. See it spinning, the little thing here. To the left hand side, because I mean it's only a 30-point vehicle, it's only mediocre stealth, but I wanted it because I think, yeah, I wanted one more reserve infantry, because to the center, to the like this side here, I had 2 cheetahs, then 2 of the panzer infantry with the dragons, because he still could have like LIVs and Sheridans and stuff like that, so the dragons should be very helpful. 1 to 2, Leopard 1, and then 2 of the reservists. The Dutch reservists are actually pretty decent. Like this, they're disheartened, so that's obviously not very helpful, but 9 men with the law, don't mind if I do. And you also get a 50 cal vehicle together with them. It's 25 points, sure, but it even has smoke, so that's nice. And yeah, then I did deploy an additional reservist squads here, like that I could then move forward in those buildings, depending on how aggressively he will be utilizing this zone here. Sorry for clicking the line of sight tool, that really is annoying if you go around all those buildings. And yeah, a fighter as well. I wanted to prevent like a helicopter rush, because that would be pretty dangerous against 4th. And yeah, also by the way, one advantage of 16th Belgium would have also been that you also get forward deployed infantry and 50 cals. Also Humvees, but you don't really need the forward deployed Humvee tows. But yeah, I decided to go with 4th. I also decided for a very long time, because with only 5 bands, there's just so many good divisions left that you or your enemy can pick, so it's actually still pretty hard. Yeah. I said that, you know, Protoss can do whatever he wants, it's his tournament, but I think it's just incredibly stupid to have only 5 bands. It's very dumb. But anyway, the fur canners have deployed, so I can see what's going on. I can see fairly heavy deployment in this area here. Humvee tow just standing around in the open is not the best idea. 240 mils will be a pain, because as usual I forgot that he gets 40 mils and not just 50 cals. So they will obviously just win against the 50 cal, especially because they then also have free vet. Tow 2 wastes a shot on the truck. I deployed my Tow 2 a little bit further back, because I was afraid that it could get sniped by some ATGMs if it tries to go for this building. Snipes his Humvee tow. I also deployed with only 1 command. I wanted to have more units on the ground for a decisive early push here. The cheetahs were a bit too aggressive, so I pulled them off to the sides. Was really afraid of the Tow 2 here. Tow 2 unfortunately misses the looks, the LAV, sorry. Would have been very nice. There is an M60 MP patrol with the M67, and unfortunately this building there is out of range of the set shot charge, so they're really doing work against me. But the good thing is that I am pushing through here now with the 2 YPRs, Leopard 1, and then the bunch of infantry and the 50 cal vehicles on top of that, and 2 cheetahs that can obviously also be used for some infantry fire support. He is in a bit of a pickle, as one might say. Genie is retreated off the building. 50 cal vehicle unfortunately dies to the recoilless rifle. Oh, Toshio. Yeah, absolute insane targeting. Goes for the 50 cal vehicle, then retargets to, I think, the Leopard. Yeah, but misses. So I think that was a Dragon, maybe. Not completely sure. Yeah, then the 1 YPR goes down, but I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I finally bought in a command for the right-hand side, because I didn't see anything anywhere on the right side. And I also saw a lot of deployment in the center and to the left, so I assumed that the right side should be pretty empty. That's a big disadvantage of 82nd, that just all the stuff is so expensive. His Airborne Dragon squad costs more than my Panzer infantry that come together with an IFV. Like, it's just so dumb. Plane coming in. Here I'm overstretching my vehicles. I should have pushed my cheetahs up with them very aggressively, because the Apache with his ATGMs now gets in range and gets a hit on the Leopard, killing it of course because it's a Leopard 1. Bunch of infantry coming in on the left hand side actually, that was a bit scary. As you can see, it's a lot of infantry, LAV also for some fire support, but I have infantry coming in to those high rises, so I can at least contest it a little bit. Retreat the Natris out of the building so they don't just die for no reason. This YPR is engine damaged, so it's like super slow. But I killed one of the 40 mils off. Infantry here is now moving up to take this position, and the Natris are moving even further up to see whether it's open or not. OH-58 I think died to the cheetahs. I moved him up to kill the Apache, but he retreated the Apache. But I mean, they helped killing off the 40 mil, and the OH-58 CS is the AA helicopter. Oh no, now they will kill off the 40 mil, sorry. Preemptively said it's dead, even though it wasn't dead. But you can see how quickly they killed it, even though it was in cover. Another Leopard 1 has already arrived. YPR is slowly moving up. YPRs here, I'm keeping them at range so that they can't get sniped by close range AT as easily. And here the Panzer Infantry is absolutely getting shredded by the Airborne Dragons here, because they're just a lot better. Dragon now gets in range though, unfortunately, so one of the YPR dies, but 2 more infantry squads in the YPR are already on the way. Apache rocket, I think he lost its target, but then I smoked off my Leopard 1 and the Gepards just in case, because the A10 is actually pretty dangerous against the cheetahs. iHawk though is already on the way, with the second one on its way already as well. No, I want to keep 82nd in check with their air spam. They can still do a decentish air spam. Oh, a lot of their planes are still expensive, but especially like the A10 rockets are pretty valuable, like good value for money. Infantry here also moving up because I wasn't sure whether he already like moved something through here. There wasn't anything, but I wasn't exactly sure. Goes for the YPR, but I guess he lost line of sight. AA on the left hand side is really lacking. Like, basically all my AA is kind of very focused around the right side of the map. F-16 coming in, killing the A-10, gets in return, but that really doesn't matter that much. I killed the F-16, so that's the A-10, so that's all that matters. More Stingers being bought in, but I again bought them into the right hand side, which makes sense, right? Because I have most of my armor here, and also then a Leopard 2A4B is already coming in. So I really wanted to defend them from dying against some air spam with 2 iHawks, and then also some like helicopters diving in. Seed comes in, luckily misses both the Gepards. That was very lucky. But I mean, to be fair, even if he would have hit both, like wouldn't have been the end of the world, because there's a second iHawk already coming in, one is in place, 2 Stingers, so not that well microed by me, but wouldn't have changed a lot. LV died, so that's nice. More infantry is in position. Apache, a bit of an issue, but I have the F-16s, and I mean the F-16s are still very good against helicopters, the F-16 shotgun fighters that is. I was a bit worried because they will obviously really struggle against his F-15s with the AMRAAMs. I basically have no chance to getting close to them, but he didn't have them up, so I just go in and snipe off his Apache. His OH-58 missed both missiles, a bit unlucky for him. In general, just weird because, like, 4th, the Dutch division can also air spam very, very well. So I also don't think he has particularly a lot of air defense flying over with the F-16s. I think there's like the one OH-58 and maybe 1 or 2 Stingers, and that's about it. So I was really confused. But I'm just driving in the command in this sector now because I have pretty much cleared out everything that wasn't here. I'm not seeing a lot. Actually, I'm not seeing anything, and I have the recon in here, so I was fairly certain that it should be, like, you know, empty enough. And if something shoots at the command, then I have the recon in place, and, well, 2 Leopards, 2 Cheetahs that can easily deal with it. He was targeting the vehicle blob here with 105 mil, also very weird buy-in. If you buy 105s, you need to buy at least 2. I think I now have vetted them up to double vet, and I think I would honestly buy in all 3 of them at the same time and target them at the same target always, because otherwise they will just do no damage. Repositioning the iHawk, because I was afraid that he might be going for it. Actually, no, he wasn't. I didn't know at the time. I think he sees it from an LRS, either here or here. One of the high rises, there's an LRS there that I can't see. But it doesn't matter that much for the moment. I'm at a +1. I have regained control over this area here. You can see there's 2 YPRs, a Leopard 1, so any engagement here will be heavily in my favor. Those 2 squads are very low, so they need to be repaired. Cheetah is now already in as well, so I have some nice close-range air defense. Natras here, find a 40 mil and a Fireteam Dragon. That's not a good engagement for them, because the reservists will be stunned up very, very quickly. I didn't even bother retreating the YPR here because it's engine damaged. I honestly could have moved it even further forward, because why not? He again tries to target where the iHawk has been. Not really the smartest move. Yeah, I'm now also buying in artillery of my own. I obviously always want to buy an artillery as early as possible, but in this case, he had a lot of stuff on the ground and in the air, so I wanted to focus air defense and ground. The seat gets hit, and then the A-16 AT dies. And his attack that he started here is pretty much in shambles already. And then he just surrendered. You might say it was a bit prematurely, but considering I already had an almost 2-to-1 KD and he has like no late game scaling, it was very much over for him. I have no idea why anybody would pick 82nd like at all. I know some people that are, in my opinion, insane, think that the division is like still good. What is even good about it? The stuff that it has that is good is just way too expensive. So yeah, the very weird choice. Cheetah here, being an absolute beast. Create launcher Kiowa F-16AT and a Hawk. Very nice. Tortuga killed 2 Humvee actually. That's nice. And yeah, well, the YPRs are just very, very nice on Urban Frontlines actually. I think, you know, 4E might be a very decent division on Urban Frontlines actually, thinking about it. I think 16 might still be better, but the fact that you have still decent infantry and good fire support with 4E, but then you also have the heavy tanks if you need them, and the Eyehawks, which is very, very helpful, because that's at least some long-range defense, air defense, is very nice. And other than that, yeah, I mean, no unit really got some insane kills, but the game also wasn't really long. On his side, I mean, the Apache here did a decent job. It sniped 1 Panzer infantry in the YPR, but I mean, it then just got dived by an F-16 because he didn't have like any AA up on the left-hand side except for 1 OH-58. That was also just a bad play. Like, as I said, 4E can airspam the hell out of you. I didn't do it this game because I assumed that he would have stingers everywhere, but you know, it is what it is. So it was already off to a good start. I was 1-0 up. I was very happy with that. And yeah, so the next game will be actually the next video. Gonna have to wait for that and see whether I was finally able to get my first 2-0 in League or whether it would be a draw as always with my playstyle. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, have a beautiful day and bye bye.